Mr. Elbert.
My name is Lauren Elbert from 155 Yorkshire Court in Elyria. I have a few things to pick on planning review about. Basically, I don't see it as a bad overall thing, but when it comes down to individual opinions, that's not going to work. You can't have one person that likes sandstone, and if he has enough people to go along with him, you're going to want sandstone or you're not going to get okayed. You don't like red brick, you may have to take red brick. I like to do a little change in color and stuff that I build, so I use different kinds of brick, but I don't want to use red brick all the time. When we built the twist and shake place, that was almost a nightmare. These people have been there for several years, a lot of years, not several. They built up a great business. They decided to expand and clean it up and bring it up to date and put up a new building, which is probably worth 10 times what they had originally when they bought it from me. And they wanted, we're selling ice cream, we want a white building. That's all there is to it. We don't want a cream building, we don't want a red building, we want a white building. Now, in building a building, you go to an architect, the architect designs the building, or you tell him approximately what you want, colonial, plain, whatever, and he draws it up, and he draws all the plumbing, electrical, heating, air conditioning, the structure, the roof, everything, and presents the plans to you for a fee. You then have to purchase a piece of land, make sure it's zoned properly. If it isn't, you got to go through planning commission and council to get it rezoned. Then you got to go for your building permit, but before you do, you got to go to a design review now, which is a step that slipped in between. Now, I don't mind doing that. I have no problem with that. But I don't want to have a building design and spend a lot of money having it designed and have somebody tell me that the kind of tree I want to put up, I can't do it. Here's your tree list. And my tree ain't on there, too bad. Well, it's not going to be too bad because I'm going to have the kind of tree I want. If I have to go to court, I'll do it. That particular project's been approved since then, and hopefully we'll be getting it started soon. But color, like I had a building I bought in 1970 that was basically ravaged. I redid the whole building, and in about 1999, maybe 2000, it was time to change the roof. And it had at the time that the building was built, it was a nice looking roof. Now it's older, dirty, and needs to be replaced. So I'm looking at colors that, maybe I want to lifen it up a little bit. They want me to put the same kind of roof on as what's on there. I mean, it wasn't going to do anything to the building. It was a 25-year-old roof that you want to replace and maybe spice it up a little bit because they've changed roofing materials and roofing types and roofing colors in 25 years, as we all well know. Well, after a little bit of back and forth and round, I finally got to use the color that I wanted. But it's not necessary to have to go through all these programs in order to have things done. There should be a program where you can slide through. You got an architect. You don't have somebody drawing commercial buildings like we used to do when I first started. I designed and drew shopping centers in this town, neighborhood shopping centers, and presented them myself, which later on was you weren't allowed to do, and you had to go to an architect, to have an approved architect, to have stamped prints in order to build something. And we build a lot of buildings in this town. Houses, apartments, develop land, all kinds of things. We've never really had any problems. And I can say, and I'm sure nobody's going to sit here and say, that anything that I built wasn't worthy of the town, because it is. And I want to continue building. I'm getting a little older now, slowed down a little. I have a good partner, a young guy that's got a lot of ambition like I used to have. And we want to continue going, but we want to try to get something smoothed out with this program so we're not hopping over fences and arguing over trees and fences. And putting up fences, basically a fence is put up to keep people in or keep people out. But when you start putting up these expensive black aluminized fences, like stick it in front of a building, I don't know what the purpose of that is. What does that do? Pretty soon every building has a black fence in front of it, and they all look the same. So I mean, I would have to say that that thing defeats the purpose of starting the fence, because if you go down to the Commons or you go just about anywhere anymore where there's a new building, there's black fence. For whatever reason, I don't know. But I think we can get this thing worked out and get some of these things smoothed over. But we got to get some people on there that have the ability to understand and realize what's going on, so we're not running back and forth spending money on stuff that's not necessary. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else like to speak on this topic?
Mr. Callahan, I've got copies of those minutes, but I guess the question that's on everybody's mind is, if you're going to have a series of meetings, what is the plan going forward?
Well, the plan going forward is obviously we've heard a lot of examples here tonight. I think the committee's has taken some good notes. They're going to think things through. We're going to convene here probably sometime next month. We'll come up with a date. And we've heard some recommendations tonight too, and then start considering where changes could be made to make the process better. So that would be my first thought. But if there's anything you want to share, that would be fantastic.
No, I just wanted to know if I have to spend hours on paperwork again, or if we're going to go forward with just more open dialogue about what we're going to do and how we're going to go about making some modifications, and what mechanism there is to make those modifications.
Right. Well, we'll be looking for suggestions, on what to do. And like I said, going forward, there's going to be a series of meetings. I anticipate at least 2 more meetings. At this point, there could be even more. But at this point, I think the committee needs to digest this and do some soul searching.
Okay. I do notice there's an evaluation form that's been created since last month too. So we've had probably two good steps that have come forward. Mm-hmm. Probably needs to be 5 or 6 more steps, but 2 good steps going forward is a big...
Yeah. Any recommendations, I would accept those, or anybody in the committee, we would take any recommendation.
Thank you.